sippin', I'm 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 sippin'.
Sippin', I'm 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 sippin'. This is Sippin' with Sammie. I am Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sippin' right. Get your fucking life together. And I got Saf.
Yo, I'm in the building.
Oh my God, she just popped a collar on the hoodie.
I'm just saying. I was just trying to, bring a little attention,
I mean, talk about it. What's that?
That's all, that good new wear you got here, So no, this is a dope collection I just brought out. It sends an amazing message that was instilled by my great grandfather, and the message is the Black press is the voice of Black America. It's so true. There's so many people out there trying to tell our stories, but we have to be in control of our own narrative. So make sure you check out onthescenemagazine.com for your own legacy edition. So on the back of this, let me just show you this little bit. So I don't know, can you see?
In prototype.
Yeah, we can see it. This is the prototype, but
come back to the mic.
To give a little story, so it's the legacy edition because it highlights On the Scene magazine. It highlights my father's newspaper, the Philadelphia New Observer, and my grandfather and great grandfather's newspaper, the New Observer, that was based in DC. So that's why this is a legacy edition. But it's real important for us to make sure that we control our story. So check us out.
Word. I fucks with it. So now we got the legacy for the owners, and we got the yo-yo, and I ain't got neither one yet, but
you got them. They coming.
Because I know they gonna be like, I ain't never seen Sammie wear one, because I ain't got one.
He about to get laced.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
He getting laced.
So crazy week for me. We buried Fat's mom. Rest in peace to her.
Rest in peace.
Friend of mine lost a close friend of theirs. And then two guys I call my brothers, Ted and Chris, lost their pop. So it's just been a long, draining week. But Fly Day was Fly Day as usual. I had a fucking ball. Had my fly girls on there with me acting crazy.
And we slid though. Yes, it was. Fly Day was definitely like a whole situation.
I knew it was going to be at 3:30. I just was like, yo, it's early as shit, and it ain't.
Yeah, it was a whole situation. Like it was a whole situation. I had a good time. Shout out to my sister lady, Caution 215. Uptown Lulu, my sis chick with the juice. Only fly girl we was missing was Polly Baby.
Right.
But listen, she was there in spirit because she's the fly girl all day, every day.
Yeah, shout out Polly Baby.
But yeah, so we had a good time yesterday.
That shit was cool. That was cool. Year in 2020 wrap up.
Oh.
Does everyone have their list ready? We're going to need list, people. Now, it's crazy because ever since I said we was going to do it, I noticed that everybody's doing it.
Oh, wow.
But everybody's year is different. So that's cool. And a lot of people, I think, are just doing, they're tallying up the events of the year. More so than their personal year.
Right.
Yeah. So we all good. But we got the K mic loaded.
What up? Hey.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. Hater.
I got a yo-yo and a what up. This is about to be bad, yo.
No hateration or holleration in this dancery, okay?
Oh my goodness.
You tell him, Saf.
Like, what's going on? You outnumbered today, so you really can't say but too much.
I'm outnumbered every time we hear.
Yeah, but not vocally.
I have a mic.
I got bag up.
But
she got
I
bag
have
up.
a mic. All right, so what we doing, man? How we gonna spark this pup?
Well,
spark mine.
You know what? Let's start on the music tip.
Okay.
Because, sometimes we're a music podcast, so let's start over there. Who do you guys think you would give title Artist of the Year?
And this is national artist or local?
Let's start national and then go to local.
Okay. So for me, it absolutely has to be Lil Baby. For the simple fact of what he's the movement, because 2020 we were faced with a lot of we experienced injustices before, but there's been some major injustices and some light shed on it as well. So as you said earlier in the beginning of the pandemic, that the pandemic itself, we're kind of like going through the Renaissance period or a Renaissance period. So the creativity and the art that was going to come through it. So amongst that, bringing it to the injustices and bringing light to Black Lives Matter. And what he also did, I don't know if anybody saw what he did for George Floyd's daughter. Yeah, he actually said that, you know, during when it first happened, that he would, you know, maintain and stay in her life and be a part of her life. And he actually just threw her a massive birthday party. It was ridiculous. I mean, it was rooms and rooms of just amazement, and it looks like she really had a good time. Absolutely, it was a nail bar. I mean, it was just balloons. It was just pretty. It was beautiful. It was hair. It was just everything. I was happy so I just want to shout him out because he kept his word for one, and just also just the way that he moves. I just like the way he moves. So for me, it's Lil Baby.
I can see Lil Baby. I guess I would give Lil Baby and Benny the Butcher probably. Even, you know, life happens outside of art. So he had a mishap this year that was crazy. But besides that, like, he tore everything the fuck up. Him and Conway, I guess you would have to split it. But it's crazy because at that point you talking Griselda. Like, you know what I mean? But they whole movement. But Benny has emerged on some, like, Jadakiss shit. Where it's like, we know everybody in the group is nice, but everybody needed that Benny feature this year.
True.
You know what I mean? So
I hear that.
Shout out to them because from where they from and how they did it, they deserve everything they fucking get for it. You know what I mean? As far as what they put into the music and the energy and the merch and the shows, I heard great stories about their performances. I never got to see them live, but I'm agreeing with Lil Baby, and I'm gonna throw Benny in that pup. Now locally,
you go first.
I gotta go first. I think we got the same person. He was on the show yesterday. Son of the 215.
Definitely Son of the 215.
Probably has my vote just from. I feel like a lot of people have maintained their position in the city. I feel like he's elevated his a lot in a short amount of time.
He stayed focused. I definitely see his focus and his drive. Like his drive is ridiculous.
He's a gym rat though. Like you can't tell him that he can go to the studio when he want and think he's not going to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's going to be there all the time.
Absolutely.
Like, so that's how he play. And then when he's not there, he's doing shit so he can get back there.
Absolutely.
So it's like I'm not surprised at all. Like with the opportunities that's been presented in front of him, he's been taking advantage of them. You know, and that's dope. So I got to get at the helm. Where was you going?
So definitely was thinking about 215. Son of the 215. He had an amazing album this year, Veterans Day 2. I like his drive. I like his message. I like how he really literally can carry the city on his back. His personality. His lyrics, I just think he's all around a good guy and a good lyricist. So I'll definitely give it to Son of the 215.
He's somebody we bet on a long time ago.
Right? So I'm just happy to see just the fruits of his labor, right? But somebody who I'm really impressed with their work, and I don't know if I can give him the Artist of the Year per se, but I'm impressed with the work. With again, for me, it's the drive. Was Dutchie Man. Like I like the drive because you know he's been in the game for a long time. He's a legend in his own right, but also faced with some adversity. But to see him keep pushing forward and to deliver for me what was a classic. To also, if anybody knows the history, he has a song with Freeway. So you know there's some history there. To see them be able to come together was something that was dope for me. So I want to shout out Dutchie Man. And the projectiles and cognac. Yeah,
shout out Dutch. And I also got a record with Dutch this year. That's dope. So that was cool. That was cool. Complicated if y'all interested.
I like that, John.
Thanks.
I got another honorable mention.
We listening?
Del P. I think that he had a great year.
Absolutely.
Del had an awesome year. Shout out to my brother.
Shout out. Make MC great again.
I'm saying, yep. We just went super hard for Del P's latest video.
We did literally. Like we went
super hard for my brother there, but when it's somebody like that, you don't mind that shit. It's like,
especially for the message.
Whatever it takes to bring the vision, we gonna do it. And I had fun over there that day. It was a lot of good networking that we had. A lot of positive energy and just what you grow to expect from being around Del. Like your energy attracts certain energy, you know, and every time we do something from the photo shoot for the magazine cover that I was blessed to be a part of to the video shoot to the shows, it's just you meet some dope people or you reconnect with some dope people that you ain't seen in a while. And
that's
with this COVID
true.
shit, that made it, that was, like I said, I want to bring back networking events and meet and greets in 2021, and that kind of felt like one for a little while.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely did. It's funny you said that too, because thanks for bringing up Del P, okay? Shout out to Del P for sure and the work that he does. But it's funny you said what you also mentioned was the energy, and so I had a crazy experience at the video shoot. So, I talk about my grandma and I talk about my brother a lot. Like, I really miss them, they passed away. And so I've been talking about my brother and my grandma, and, like, my sister, she can have dreams, right? Where she can talk to them or whatever. I never am lucky enough to have that. So, I was giving somebody, it's funny you said about networking. So I was giving someone who I met years ago my number. And when I gave him my phone number, I called him and my grandmom's name came up on his phone. And I'm like, that freaked me out because I had my same number since 2003. I never was associated with my grandma. She never on her line, wasn't her address, none of that. So for me, it was the energy, right? Because I just felt like, I was attracting her energy because I just been talking about my grandma. Like, I always wear this gold necklace. If anybody ever notices, I always have this on. So it was my grandma's necklace, right? So that was just real dope. At the video shoot that happened because I felt like it was my grandma's energy and spirit that was around too. And the song itself, by any means necessary, is something also like it talks about spreading love, and I just felt like it was the right moment for that to happen.
Shout out to Jay Reezy too, because he's
Jay
on
Reezy
that
for
track,
sure.
on the hook.
He kills that hook. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that was kind of dope.
Yeah, that was a dope experience. Yeah, glad we brought up Dub. Glad we brought up Dub.
All right. Next up is podcast of the year.
Pod of the year.
Shoulders down.
Shoulders down.
I feel like hands down, shoulders down. It's definitely OLF podcast.
I'm rocking with OLF.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging OLF a lot. Strong movement. About a dozen strong brothers that all come together and debate everything. They literally had just passed the mic around the room, where they probably got about 8 mics now, and make sure everybody get their piece off about whatever they talking about, and it's dope.
I like them too for that reason, because again, there's so many of them, and for me, it showed people how to be grown men, because when you have 10 people or however many people, like, not everybody's going to agree. They go through it and they shake it off and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
they don't even let it get there.
Not even
that
go
shoulders
through
down shit is like so genius.
Absolutely.
Because it's like when you could tell somebody turning up, you just, yo, shoulders down. You know what? I was tripping.
Right.
You bring it back, yelling into the mic, not letting them talk. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense, and it's easy. Shoulders down.
And so it's that I like the topics, and again I appreciate the diversity in opinions. So.
And they got great titles for their episodes too.
They do.
They wild, so it's always going to be a wild title.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So shout out to them for that.
Yeah, salute to OLF, man. My guys. I actually hit one of them up recently just to check in on them. We gonna have them back soon.
Good.
In some capacity.
That was a good time.
And we still haven't had rolling on yet, so we gonna get rolling through soon. So.
Okay.
So speaking of our pod and guests, what were some of your favorite guests or favorite episodes of this year?
Well, I gotta go with. She got her butt cheeks out with the squad. Shout out my squad. That was heavy for me. Big Rube was fun as hell. We got
Absolutely.
to eat.
Absolutely. We ate well.
That was definitely best
and he
food of
schooled us
2020.
too. So it's interesting you said that, because for me, so I think I'm smart, right? So if anybody has me, like, gets me like really like thought provoking, like, it's get me in my thoughts, I appreciate that. So Mason got me my thoughts, and so did Rube. Rube did also. So I can say those are like some of my favorite ones. I had a good time with everybody, to be honest. I feel like we have like the dopest pod. It's very comfortable. I feel like people get to like relax and just be themselves, and
it's not even so much about the drinking, because we don't.
It's not forced.
We don't force shots.
Not at all.
Or anything like that. We not flooding your cup. Everybody just has their drink, hopefully of choice, and we just vibe. But Fly Girl episode with Chicken though.
Yeah.
Great time. One of the episodes we had the most amount of guests on mic at the same time, and it's fun that way sometimes. As long as everybody knows how to let everybody talk, it's fun. And it was a pleasure to hear Nunu really start talking about her life.
Yeah.
And that is going to make that puts that up there for me, because like I done been around Nunu a lot, and I told you.
True.
Up until probably the day before that, she hasn't said more than 10 words at a time to me. So when she got on camera and started really opening up, I fucked with that. That was a vibe. I fucked with that.
That's what's up.
Any other episodes for you?
You know what? The one with so I like to shout out something that resonated with me. I live by this now when we did with Vu. Fear. So face everything and rise. That's something that I live by now. So that was a real dope pod for me too. Just to hear about all the things that they do around that movement. That was real dope.
Yeah, they just keep adding to that shit too. So salute to them for that because it's positive and they keep a couple to a few young brothers with them. They showing them how to be entrepreneurs. They putting them in front of people, making sure they have conversations and represent themselves the right way. And that's dope and it's important. And it goes into the each one teach ones and the rites of passages and all of that type of thing.
Right. Oh, something else I was gonna say too. The trippings. We had because we hadn't been able to really do too many of them during the pandemic. So when we were at Voltage and at a lot of the shows, those are some of my favorites too.
Yeah, well those those is easy. Can't do all the work.
I was gonna say for you.
Well, I mean, not even. I mean, just being
no,
out
we
and
did
about.
have to do interviews. You know what? The virtual concert for Dutch, doing those interviews upstairs was an experience because it was more controlled than the concerts.
Right. Because
usually we're like right in earshot of the speakers or backstage or somewhere awkward where there's traffic. And we had our own little room. Shout out to 1122 Studios.
Shout out to
MMG
1122
Studios. And I had I just like how that ran that day. I like how that ran. Shout out to Fine Productions for putting that together too. She actually did my entire setup without me because I was on the radio.
Well, that's typically, like in my experience, that's typically, I know sometimes we get in where we fit in, but that's typically like how it goes anyway, or how it should go.
Yeah, but no, the trippers are definitely fun. The For the Love tournament was dope. Shout out to them. Especially the women's tournament. It's so funny to watch because it's a one-on-one tournament and there's a lot of dope athletes out there, females, whatever. And most of them are grown. You know what I mean? I just saw recently that one of them just got a new college coaching position somewhere, head coaching job. And, like, these are adults. They got their kids with them, some of them, stuff like that. And just the love that they show each other, the way that they hold each other down because there was someone was having bad games and stressing themselves out and you know it's all type of things, watching each other's children while they doing their thing. It's like it was nice to see that community that way at this age because I haven't been around basketball as much as I used to be. And now like these are women, I guess I'm assuming half of them probably our age. You know what I mean? They still getting out there doing their thing and they doing it the right way. It's dope to see. We got plenty of footage from For the Love events, but the one-on-one basketball tournament for the women that we was able to get, that was cool. Okay. And they was super gracious. I'm sitting out there blasting music out of my truck. Shorty thanked me. Like, thank you. I'm like, I know how it is. Like, you just be standing around waiting to hoop. Like, you need something other than the ball bouncing.
I think my favorite episode was one of our last traveling episodes when we went to go see Robbie at the Barbery.
I knew you was going to say Robbie. Robbie was dope.
It was a good time.
Robbie was dope, and it was dope to see. Like, don't nobody be in a Barbery during daytime,
right?
And then they was remodeling, so we got first look at certain shit. And for him to explain his journey and his vision was crazy because Robbie just do what the fuck he want.
Right.
like, oh, why'd you do it? Because I just felt like it. Like, and he just do it. Like, why? Did you own clubs? Did you promote part? No, but I used to go to clubs. I didn't like how they treated people.
Right,
so I bought a club. Like, it's just like, the shit makes so much sense. If I was able to think like that, my life would be so much simpler.
Right.
But it just don't work like that for me. So it was dope. Because within doing these interviews on whatever platform, because I've been on quite a few at this point, there's always somebody like that. Right. That, like, you really think that it's some deep story. And the deepest thing about their story is that they just do what the fuck they want. Or they just do them. Or they was doing them and fell into position.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's always dope to see, man. Dope to see.
Absolutely. That was a good one.
So, you know, we all know 2020 was a little different. But what are some of the lessons that 2020 taught you or mantras that you guys are taking away from this year?
For me, it was patience. And And I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and she didn't understand why I said that. And I was just like, I mean, you can't move the way you want to move. Like, you can't do anything. You had to sit still. If you were being safe, you had to sit still. You know what I'm saying?
And even if you was moving around, the world was inconvenient. So shit is not going to operate the same way.
Right.
And people are stressed out.
Right. So for me, it was just learning how to be patient. Again, I've been thinking about my brother a lot, and his name was Sabir, or in Arabic, Sabr, pronounced Sabr, which means patience. So it's just something that's been resonating with me this whole year. So.
Yeah, patience is something that I've been working on for a few years now, and this year like forced me to really have to try to like keep it in the front of my mind instead of the back of my mind, I guess. And just really out of consideration for others, because between, like I said, knowing that everybody's stressed, frazzled, not, you know, it's like the sky is falling. And also I know my temperament.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not fair to either one of us for me to get bent out of shape about certain shit. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of woosah going on. But I also felt good this year. So, like I said in the beginning, lost quite a few people. This has been the week, like, no, you know, just like the rest of them this year. It's been wild. But we've gained, we've grown, we've expanded. We haven't been able to travel like we wanted to, but we do have a couple spots we're going to land at very soon, because they're zoned for it, let's say. Like it's safe. But we just wanted to be respectful, and we didn't want to jump right into running around all the time again, because it sets a bad example sometimes in some ways. And I was very conscious of that all year, and that's something I had to be patient with. I figured out ways, and we assisted in a few and organized a few, but like we figured out ways to have COVID safe events. I chose not to throw any of my own because I know what happens at my events.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna have 50 people outside pissed, at least, and it is what it is. So it's just literally been patience across the board when you really think about it. You know, for me, but I've gained by being patient, or while being patient, because at the same time that I haven't been able to do what I wanted to do, I've been able to figure a whole lot of other shit out that I probably needed to figure out sooner than later anyway. Again,
I feel like this was a year of reset and recharge. Like, everybody was saying that they wanted to have clear vision in 2020, wanted 2020 and 2020.
I think that's the funniest thing. I think that
you got it. Be careful. My mom say, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it.
That was my other thing, is that I like the fact that we came in 2020 with everybody talking about their 2020 vision, and then 2020 really showed you the real world and what's really going on out here and who you really live amongst.
Yeah, I know. I got an awakening. So
I mean, shit.
Multiple. Yeah.
I'm looking at people crazy daily online that I thought was so much smarter or so much more compassionate than they actually are, and it's nerve-wracking to see how ignorant some people could be to other people's plights.
Right.
It's very annoying, but I'm glad that a year like this happened, because it's necessary.
I think going along with that perspective, one of the things that 2020 taught me was your team is only as strong as your weakest player. And, you know, we saw that on a global level with the pandemic, and how, you know, every country, every government was only as strong as their most vulnerable citizens or, you know, population. And I think that, you know, taking that from the macro level and applying it to your own life as well, you know, even within your own pod, you're only as safe as you know, the rest of the people around you and their actions, and everybody is that connected. And that can also be a thing of power too, you know, with building our networks and what we always talk about on the pod, you know, the relationships that you gain and where those relationships can open doors for you and take you forward, and maintaining those relationships and the importance of that. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that that's something that 2020 really drove home.
That's a good point. That's an absolutely good point. Absolutely, because a lot of people don't realize their strength or weakness or their dependency on others for it, right? A lot of people think that everything is based on their own actions, and a lot of times, most times it's not.
But isn't that one of those theories? Do you think that everything is connected? Like, Or do you think that motherfuckers just move freely? And then when you have a situation like an outbreak or things like this, it shows you how connected everybody is?
Absolutely.
Because you couldn't...
I think it's like energy too, right? I just feel like...
Yeah, it's like if you got here 30 minutes earlier than you got here, something else would have been different in the world. Not just in this house. You see what I'm saying? And people got to realize that, like, it's just like you drive for other people. You got to live for other people, too. And, I don't know, we all have our shortcomings, but...
Right, but I think it also goes to, like, it takes a village, and I think that that's more than with children. I think that that's with relationships. I think that's with businesses. I think that's just with everything on a day-to-day level. Like, it takes a village. I was just talking about, it's so funny, I was just talking about on my way here about being neighborly. Like, so...
I've been big on that these last couple of years.
All right, that's been my entire life. I think that I've always been a good neighbor, but so. No,
I mean I've been big on talking about that.
Oh, all right.
I've always been.
Yeah. So I was talking about because somebody, of course, well, it snowed and where I live in a development. So the development clears my street. They clear my street and they clear my sidewalk, but they don't do my driveway, right? So I got to do my driveway, and then I have a neighbor who had like a brain tumor, who we know can't really do much. My folks decided to not do hers. Well, somebody else was doing hers, but they left this area, and I'm like, why would you just like not clear the whole thing? Like, it's neighborly. It makes it better for all of us because guess what? When it melts tomorrow and then it turns to ice, I'm gonna be sliding over it. Like, but if you was just already just being proactive and just thinking like, all right, let me just clear the whole joint, like.
I knew snow had something to do with it when you said the other day.
Yeah, but I always did it. My neighbor for another property, my family's been neighbors for over 50 years. And somebody asked if I shovel theirs. Absolutely I do. Because one, we've been neighbors for 50 years, but she's 80-something years old. Like, and even if she wasn't, guess what? If I'm out there and I'm doing it, because her 80-year-old ass, she be out there trying to shovel mine. I'd be like, yo, if you don't go back in the house. But my whole point is, it's just a thing to do.
I've grown up my entire life with me and my dad shoveling 4 houses. Damn near always front and back. Sidewalks, patios, walkway, driveway, all Absolutely. Of that. Just because they're our neighbors, we know certain situations. My mom and dad's house was flanked by 2 single women. And then on the other side was 2 people that were married that were both on call during emergencies. One worked in the hospital, the other one worked for the streets. So when it snowed, they wasn't home. Was there, right. They get a ride with the police to go to work if they need to. You know what I mean? Like, they on that list. So it was like, just, we out here. We bang they shit out, too. Get your hot chocolate or whatever you got to get afterwards, and it's not a big deal. But one of my pet peeves has always been watching somebody shovel that shares a step with somebody, like it's a row home. And they just shovel in their little piece. And it's like intentionally, like, I'm not even going to get
Guess what? I do the whole thing.
And I just be like, I don't see the point. Now, if you're an asshole, I might throw snow on your side. But if you a decent neighbor, you ain't got to be the best neighbor in the world, but we share these steps. Like, just the same thing you said. When it melts, it's still going to be ice on my steps. It doesn't make sense. And don't nobody just walk straight up their steps. You be on angles and all type of shit. Like, just be a neighbor, man. It ain't that deep. Now, I do have a neighbor that's an asshole, and I wish I would. But he has a neighbor that's not an asshole that shoveled his shit. You see what I'm saying? And I watched him, and I was like, that's nice of him.
I also think I was conditioned to shovel because somebody was asking me, like, why. So
I need a better shovel, though.
I was about to cuss my neighbor, this other neighbor. I don't even know these people. They were just walking by, and the lady was like, or the man, I don't even know who said it because I just turned red. And they just turned red to me. Like, they're like, how'd you get stuck doing this? I'm like, what? Wrong thing to say. I'm like, what? And so I was like, I didn't. And it was the man. I was like, I didn't. He just didn't do a good enough job. Looking at him like, bull, y'all always fucking up, right? But mind your business, first of all. Like,
I mean, shit, my mom and them used to be out there with the shovel, but mainly they just was cleaning the cars and talking to each other.
But guess what? I feel like I've been also conditioned because I always used to hang with the boys. So my boy cousins used to do the shoveling. Guess who was out there shoveling, making money since I was 8?
I'm about to say, like,
me, that's who.
They had that meme going around that people keep talking about Philly always talk about the blizzard of 96. Nigga, you know how much money I made in 96?
Dough.
I was 14 years old making a few $100s a day.
Jay-Z and Biggie, I love the dough.
For like a week a week straight, we caked up and we was splitting it 5 ways, shit like that. We was still.
It was me and my 2 cousins. We split in 3 ways. Yo, we killed it.
And it's crazy because me and Gates got over because we had 2 football players with us and they was banging shit out. And we just be cleaning steps and shit. Them niggas had a whole walkway done by the time we done the steps.
We was all
we out, let's go.
We was all little. I mean, I remember doing that at 8 years old.
$60, $70 to get somebody out their front door. Like, that's how deep the snow was. That people couldn't get out their house to shovel their house.
Right.
They was climbing out of windows and shit. So if you could get somebody out their front door, they give you $50 off the back.
Right.
Man, we was banging that out in 30 seconds.
Right.
Man, listen.
But yeah, so again, it's about being neighborly, man. I don't think a lot of people practice that. I feel like it needs to be a little more empathy.
Y'all stop just living next to each other because your neighbor is the one that watches your house when you're not there, whether they just being nosy or not. Mm-hmm. Your neighbor's the one that see that package on the doorstep and give you a little heads up before somebody come by and snatch that pup.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We know they ain't supposed to be snatching packages, but they do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've had some snatched recently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then there's that.
I mean, you know.
But that also kind of goes into something that Soph wanted to touch on, too, which, you know, you took away from this year, which was love conquers all.
And it does. You know what? For me, you know, I'm just a little love bug.
Shit. Why you ain't say God bless you?
I feel like no, but it really does. I feel like with a lot of the hatred that was spewed and a lot of the things that went on, like even with the unfortunate death of George Floyd, his daughter and family has so many people that are loving on them now through the tragedy. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what the main point of it was. The main point was just that through it all, like we've been able to start a lot of businesses. We've been able to, again, what I said, it takes a village. We've started our own businesses. Our community's been able to self-serve and take care of ourselves. And I think that was something that came out of not only sitting still and having to take the pandemic of 2020, but also the injustices that we face and just realizing that we had to take care of ourselves and not rely on anybody else or be dependent.
You just reminded me of something.
What's that?
Quote that was magnified this year. Not necessarily my favorite quote, but it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's something that I'm glad was magnified, even though it was for bad reason. Get in good trouble. That John Lewis, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to John Lewis. But, like, I feel like there's some things that just have to be said, and they're so simple. Mm-hmm. And he's been saying that for decades.
Absolutely.
But just like everybody, when you pass, they magnify your message. So the fact that with all of the injustices, that's what made me think of it when you said it. Like with all this stuff that went on, it's like a whole lot of people got in good trouble this shit together. Mm-hmm. You know, and hopefully the courts or whatever will be lenient on them for whatever they got into, but they did it for a purpose.
Absolutely. And
they not gonna regret that. They was partying on them police vans from what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like we didn't even think people were still capable of some of the things we've seen this year. Mm-hmm. We thought them days was over. You're not getting people to march like you did back in the day. Like, ain't nobody doing that. You can get a flash mob, but you ain't gonna get people unified in something these days. They're just gonna type. That's what we thought. Like, and I don't think people want to admit that, but we literally was at that point as a society, especially in America, where it was like, man, the kids don't even go outside to play. Ain't nobody going nowhere to do nothing. And then a pandemic on top of it, and still got out there. It's like good trouble.
Right.
Good, getting good trouble, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to forget to say that. I'd be remiss not to say that.
No, that was a good point.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I'm going to take it down the list. We had another one.
Okay.
Well, so Soph just mentioned that entrepreneurship was, you know, one of the big things that she took away from this year out of 2020. What were some of the entrepreneurs that you guys saw really win this year? I'm talking locally.
Glocawear.
Glocawear did well.
1122.
Shout out to Glocawear.
MMG Studios. Locally. Well, shit. I'm gonna say personally. Paper Made. Polka. She all over me. You know what I'm saying? She's had a great year. Fear.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fear. I wasn't even finished.
Did a great year.
I like their message. Again, for me, it's all about their message too. So I like the message that they.
Dope Tribe.
Shout out to them.
Another great message.
Shout
Another
out to
great line that I stay in. Dope Tribe did great this year.
Shout out to Belarjo.
Shout out Belargo. Oh, salute Stack 5, Steven Jackson for holding down Dope Tribe. Just posted something the other day in the sweatsuit. My man. Dope as hell. Only in America did great this year. They just put out the First Lady tees. They got what's her name on her young picture on the t-shirt, Kamala.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just ordered a few of those.
Shout out to Peace and Love. I really like their message too. I'm all about messages too.
Peace and Love did good.
So yeah, they do well. He expanded his brand to he has water. He has a cookbook. He has all kinds of things.
Yeah, the book just got done. I seen that.
Yeah,
Congratulations on that too.
Yeah, so shout out to him. So, again, I like the positivity. And
Uncle
messages. Bobby's bookstore. Absolutely.
Went through a lot of adversity. They got about 18 broken windows this year. I don't know who the fuck in Germantown is mad at Uncle Bobby.
Well,
I mean, I got an idea. But somebody's consistent.
Germantown's not the same Germantown anymore.
I know, but somebody's being very persistent to make sure that they ruin every window pane this man puts up. It's crazy. But shout out to Mark Lamont Hill.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Shout out to Mark Lamont Hill for the Uncle Bobbies. I think that
you can check out the article when they open on thescenemagazine.com.
With the bullshit that happened with Starbucks, with the supporting small and supporting local and supporting black, I feel like they came along at a perfect time.
They did.
Even as an event space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a dope place to rent out and do some things at, and it's right where it's easy to get to.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a dope joint. Who else was local? I seen a lot of people turn up this shit. Shout out to all the artists getting their merch up. Mm-hmm. I see all of y'all. Uptown Geo got Moon D rocking.
Sunny 215.
Sunny 215 got his shit going.
Chick.
Dutch got a dope ass joint. Chick.
Dutch does. I was thinking about contemplating.
Chick had a great year. It's
Chick
been a good Chick year. And Chick
dealt
with
a lot
of adversity.
I was about to say that.
But this is what I'm saying when I said like everybody's going through it.
Yeah.
Like, but you see the people that fight through it and persevere and get it popping. However you want to say it, it's like you see it, and it's dope to see. It's inspirational. Shout out to Sarita. Sarita's been able to accomplish a lot this year.
Her daughter,
her daughter's brand, right? Killed
Vain
it this
Glory.
year.
Yes.
Say it again.
Vain Glory.
Yeah, they killed it this year, man. That was dope. Awesome to see because it shows you that possibilities are probably bigger than you could see.
Absolutely.
Even though you know you dope, you know your lane, you know all of that. Don't nobody know they getting that Jordan look.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, like you don't know Nike coming. Like that's different. That's next level shit. So shout out to them. I'm trying to think about other type of businesses that I'm missing. Oh, Mad Creations, my homegirl, Rashid. Yo, killed that. She just got a storefront too. So congratulations to her. That's ill. Big Rube had a big year. He just opened up some ghost shops and restaurants. You know what I mean? Like that's ill. Yeah, it's been a lot of people. Like she said, we've seen a lot of, and we've been, up close and personal with a lot of these people.
Shout out to my cousin, Dr. Ayla Stanford. She's been on the forefront of the coronavirus pandemic. You can see her on CNN. You can see her all over the. She looks just like my grandpa.
Let me see. Cause I be on CNN.
Yeah, but she usually has her hair braided.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so shout out to my cousin. Again, those family genes, that legacy.
And she's beautiful.
Yeah. So shout out to my cousin. Here she is.
Not to objectify your family, but
no, but yeah, so shout out. So we making moves. She had a major year, and I just want to thank her for the work that she did and for her impact. So.
No, that's dope. That's ill. That's ill. I like it. City of Dreams Coalition.
Sister Talia.
Shout out to them. They've it's like I heard about them when they said Beans was doing something and all of that, and then I've been able to witness a lot of their moves. So.
Yeah,
and that's a non-profit, I believe, but
some trap work.
Still talk about heavy trapping when it comes to always constantly week after week after week after week having to build something. So yeah, we'll go there with it.
Yeah, but it's a lot of people, again, like I said, it's a lot of people who are just serving the community. It's a lot of people that are just doing some major things in a positive way. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's making their own moves and putting their efforts.
Shout
actually
out to On the Scene magazine.
Thank you. It's
know what I'm
actually a new edition, so check out onthescenemagazine.com. We just dropped our latest edition. We have an article on Meek and a scholarship fund that he created with Mike Rubin. And the last sentence in the article is basically just thanking everybody who puts their passionate efforts toward the community. So,
absolutely. I want to salute Meek because I'm not a big Meek fan per se, but I'm from Philly and I seen Meek probably before y'all seen Meek. Like I used to run up to my man like, "Yo, G, I got some bar.
Guess what?
You want hit?"
Not to cut you off, but my magazine was one of the first ones that had Meek highlighted. This was when he had the nappy braids and everything. Like my magazine was one of the first ones to highlight him. So I'm just hyped to say that too. That was in 2008.
And I said nappy braids because that's what
he said. That's what he said.
They was fuzzy. It's more like fuzzy. Like nappy braids sounds. Anyway,
2009 maybe, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, but no, Meek was he's grown in front of us as an artist, as a man. We watched him gain a family.
That's what the article said.
We've seen a lot, and no matter what you got bad to say about him, he's doing a lot of good out here. And that's important because he don't have to do shit. None of us has to do shit, you know. And he does. And he might misspeak from time to time, but we people, man, we fucking human. But he's actually putting his money where his mouth is. He's putting his energy where his mouth is, behind the scenes. And everybody in front of the scenes that's complaining about what comes out his mouth is not doing the same thing.
All right, I agree.
So salute to him, man.
I agree.
Who were some of the other unexpected winners of 2020 besides toilet paper?
The Biden-Harris campaign, Kamala Harris, for me. It was a pleasant surprise, for sure.
A lot of our communities around the country where legislation and people that are in charge is being shifted around by the things brought to light through 2020.
Absolutely.
Minority women, I think, is up there. We've seen a lot. We've seen in the recent years, we've seen quite a few women that weren't even considered politicians. You know, this their first time at it, whatever. And,
or where Stacey Abrams, shout out to her.
Yeah, and they got in a position. But this year, we've seen so much more.
Absolutely.
Through Stacey Abrams, love her, hate her, Kamala Harris, the what she represents just as a figure, just seeing the second highest person, quote unquote, in the country.
Right.
Looks like a lot of y'all comes from a mixed background, comes from some of these neighborhoods. Like, I think that minority women did great this year. At a time where it could have went either way for the country.
Absolutely.
You know, so salute to y'all. Real rap.
I agree with that one.
That's it.
That's cool. That was cool. So, back to the new On the Scene magazine edition.
Oh.
No, we need deets, babe.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I feel like I'm just the magazine, me personally, and the magazine is just growing.
Absolutely.
So we have some really dope stories. Again, so we have the Meek article in regards to the $2 million scholarship that he and Mike Rubin started, so it was real interesting for me because the couple of days, I don't even think it was a full week, a couple of days prior to that, Meek was faced with a lot of flack, if you will, regarding the $20 that he gave to some guys that were in the corner selling water or whatever, right?
These kids that be hustling the hell out of folks.
Right, and you don't know what they were doing, right? Regardless of whatever they were or were not doing, you don't know. But people didn't know that a few days later he had $2 million, or however much he personally put up, set aside for these children who are doing the right thing, who are in school, who need these resources. You know what I'm saying? So people just need to, again, on the front lines, talking about what the shoulda, woulda, couldas, don't even know what's really going on. So, again, salute to him and shout out to him for that. So I just really think that a lot of people just need to, keep their opinions to themselves, man. I'm just, tired of it, to be honest. I know everybody has one, but again, the positive person I am, I'm just really tired of the negativity. I just really can't take it.
Well, I mean,
I'm not here for it.
Some people bask in ignorance way too much.
Some people thrive off of it.
And it's like...
Some people actually thrive off of it.
You get to see it.
I'm good.
All the time. And they think that they're doing something positive through pointing out all the negative. It's like, it's a weird way to do it. Just like on social media, the thing to do is to reverse brag. Is to make it seem like you're saying something helpful to other people when you're just trying to tell people what you got, what you did.
Exactly.
And it goes the same with negativity. Like, they don't want to seem the negative person, so they'll act like they're trying to put you onto some light through constantly pointing out negativity.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I constantly point out the fact that you motherfuckers is robots and got to start thinking before you follow this dumb shit that go on out here.
Think for yourself. That's something
because it's annoying as hell.
Definitely advocate for.
Yeah,
but we have some really dope articles. So also Major League Baseball definitely made some changes in which they're acknowledging the Negro Leagues, the players and their stats, which says a lot because, you know, a lot of these stats which were held by just MLB players were actually surpassed by Negro League players who weren't acknowledged until now.
The Negroes that the Negro League players that they would not let into the MLB was 20 times better than Jackie Robinson.
Right.
No disrespect to Jackie Robinson, but they was scared of them boys.
Right.
And they couldn't handle what he had to go through. He went through a lot that your temperament got to be different to deal with.
Absolutely.
And they wasn't built for that.
Absolutely. So that was another dope article. Then we have one that we highlight. I want to say a woman psychologist created this directory. You know, mental health is really something that I wanted to bring light to as well. And there's this doctor who started a clinical directory nationally that connects Black people with Black therapists. And that's something that's really important. So
we're 1%
yeah.
of that community. We represent 1% of that entire community.
Yep.
So if you're thinking about something you might want to get into, it's big bread coming for anybody that's a minority that looks like the rest of this country and not just the people we used to looking at. Because people want to talk to somebody that they feel like will understand them.
Right.
That they feel comfortable with.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people want to talk to somebody that's a complete opposite of them. But a lot of people want to talk to somebody. Most people do.
I know that's in my, you know, my struggles and trials. That's something I look for or will look for. So
that was my problem when I sought help at one point. It was like, this person is giving me responses to my real life from a book.
Right.
Because there is no way they know what I'm talking about.
Right. So that's dope. Then I have another article that's, so a lot of people, so another thing that came out of, again, the highlight of the injustices that and the underserved and inequities of our community. So TikTok donated $1 million, $100,000 to 10 different universities. Mm-hmm. All of them were Black universities, HBCUs, mm-hmm. Del State being one of them. But you can check that article out as well. So again,
Morgan just got what, 40 from Bezos' wife.
Exactly. So, you know, again, just what's so important with On the Scene magazine is that we give you what you want, what you need. So that's that positive information. You can always find some resources there. So check us out, onthescenemagazine.com.
No, that's congratulations.
Thank you.
As always, you doing what the fuck I told you to do. It's like, no, what you supposed to be doing. So we good. I had a question, but then you kind of spun me when I started thinking about Bezos' wife.
Oh, man.
But what you want to talk about? It's your turn, man.
What do I want to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just want to talk about how, again, I don't want to sound redundant, but I'm a positive person, like a half full, not half empty person. So it's just important for me, and I think for others, I will hope that people start looking at things in a more positive manner, rather than saying like fuck 2020 and all the bad things. Just look at the good things that we do here.
I couldn't bring myself to say it.
We still alive. You know what I'm saying? My business is thriving. But that's not even on a personal level. Like, it's just a lot of things that came out of it. Like resources. You got that PUA money. I know you was thankful for that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a lot of things that people...
Can we talk about that, though?
Go.
They freed up $2 trillion for the country.
Right.
And they gave the people 6% of that. And got credit for giving people money.
Right.
When, if they'd have gave out 20%, everybody would have had a better year.
Sure.
And you would think that 40 to 60% of that should be for the people.
You would think.
But we know who got paid.
major large corporations and people who didn't deserve it or need it.
Whole bunch of homeboys, whole bunch of elbow rubbing, especially during the pandemic. My God.
Yeah, because some little thousands that the hood got wasn't nothing
Wasn't
compared
shit.
to what really came off of it.
You talking about trillions?
Yeah, it was like $3 trillion, I believe.
Like that's a lot of money.
They're speaking of another one. It's not even in a trillion. It's a couple billion.
Yeah, 900 million
Yeah.
or something like that, and that's not no money for the people, especially not if it get broke down the same way.
No, it's not.
That's crazy, and that's what I want people to like be aware of what's going on. Like they tell you
Again, don't be dependent and reliant. That's again why I said the entrepreneurship in this village came to me is why I see that.
stop letting your
Right.
masters direct your conversations.
Let me ask you a question.
Stop regurgitating the shit that they sold you and then acting like everybody else is crazy because they may or may not follow a Bible.
Let me ask you a question. It's a complete change of subject, but you said master, so it made me think about it, right? So everybody, I guess a lot of artists are now selling their masters. I guess they said Lil Wayne sold his masters, but he might have only sold Drake's masters. My question is, why are people being applauded for selling their masters? Isn't that giving your ownership up?
No, because what happens is, all right, this is what the situation is. If you kept the rights to your magazine, everything that comes with it for the next 5 years, and that netted you $250,000, right? Nice number for 5 years. That's 50 a year, building all that type shit. So they might be 20, 30, 50, you know, however it come. But it netted you $250,000 at the end, right? If somebody else that can outsource your magazine more places offers you $2 million for 5 years.
So they rent it out. They not selling it. Like they still get the rights back.
They don't own it in perpetuity.
Oh, word.
It's the same thing. The Dream was one of the first big people that did it, and that was years ago.
As long as they get their rights back, as long as it's not forever gone.
But see, what I don't like, and it's back to the conversations around what other people are doing.
Because I'm about
with their
ownership.
business.
Like, so they leasing their name out, basically. They leasing
Basically,
themselves.
but that person owns it. So, like, say we talking about music. If this person can get a Ford commercial, McDonald's commercial, whatever.
You ain't getting nothing off of that, depending on what the contract says.
You got yours up front.
All right.
You got yours up front. Now, in whatever. And
if they making your money, your work more for them than they did for you, that's on you.
Well, they have the ability to do more with it than you do. And it's the same, like, if you were signed to a label, you wouldn't even have it to sell.
Because of conflicts of interest and things like that, you can't do certain
All
things.
type. I mean, and there's different levels of business.
Right. So, I mean, you're to a
You're an
contract,
artist,
so
though.
you cannot do what you freely want to do. Because
I mean,
you're in a contract.
You might not even have those resources, like the access.
Right.
I mean,
but even like say you not even a research. I'm just saying. So I'm thinking about TV now because I just heard Mario Lopez say this yesterday. So I guess he's with NBC, I think. But he had something. Oh, he had a project with Lifetime, and he was just saying he was so gracious to NBC to allow him.
Oh no,
to do those things.
There's exclusivity rights with a lot of stuff.
Right.
But when you sell somebody your masters for an allotted amount of time, they just gotta, and mind you, it's not no guarantee they gonna make more than what they. But I'm pretty sure if they bet,
if they buying, they know what they just lined up.
Gonna get close to.
They got it lined up. Triple, exactly.
Yeah, but if there's people commenting and saying for Wayne's catalog, that's crazy. And from the articles I've read, I still haven't heard how long he sold it for.
Right.
So until you could tell me how long somebody that just pled guilty to a gun charge sold their catalog for $100 million for. Right. You can't tell me how much. You can't tell me.
He's got another case?
He had caught one a little while ago. He flew with a gold gun or some shit somewhere, and they raided the plane, and and you know he already convicted for a gun charge in New York.
Right.
So if you can't tell me that he was going to make more than $100 million off of that in per se 5 or 10 years, you can't tell me that. He knows how his books run. And that's why I use the example of your magazine netting with the nets as opposed to somebody just giving you upfront guaranteed a deuce.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's quadruple what you was projected to make or would have actually made.
Right.
Based on the fact that you've already been doing this and you see how it's building. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, lightning can strike tomorrow with some crazy shit can happen. Or I can go with the guarantee and as soon as I get my shit back, we here now.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Or
as long as there's as long as there's the option is still, or as long as they still own it. My whole thing is I thought they were selling it.
He gets it back. I'm pretty sure Wayne gets it back for that number.
Okay.
Certain numbers you be like, but I'm pretty sure for that number he gets it back. But he's not the only one. There's been a long list of people recently that have, and they selling it to the same person, same company. I don't think people realize that. Like, whoever this guy is, and I'm going to have to do some more research. I've watched people talk about him, but that's not my research. He clearly has a plan. You see what I'm saying? Like, he ain't just buying this shit to give out money. Like we said, he knows something's coming from something. Like, he might know one song in all of these catalogs that could net him what he paid. That's a possibility. Like, he might not have pushed it through yet, but he might in his head know I can go boom, 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 and that'll get me this back. But I still got all this. 3 songs, be more realistic. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's you never know what somebody has access to if they're spending that kind of money on someone's catalog. Like, the label just rape you for it or take a huge percentage of it. This motherfucker is saying, I'm giving you this when you somebody that came from getting 10 cents an album, if you was lucky. People was getting 7 cents an album, not 7%. Their percentage of the album was point something.
So the other thing that can happen when we're talking about masters is with every time that you create a song, you're actually creating 2 different properties. You're creating the composition and the recording the master. So if these contracts don't include any sort of language about future works,
you still gonna eat off of what you keep creating.
And these artists can then re-record the same composition and then tank the value of their master that they just sold.
What's her name just did that?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor just did that.
Wow.
So that's
is that when they say like remastered? Is that what that means when they say remastered?
No. So mastering is also a process that happens.
I know what that means, but I thought I'm just trying to put the lingo together.
Don't
worry. I'm like, 'cause I see.
But no, that is the thing too. Like she said, you still your fans is your fans. You can re-record that shit. And there's been times, I mean, we in the YouTube era of music where there's plenty of songs that I'm pretty sure picked up steam and then a motherfucker couldn't use that track.
Right. Oh,
I'm pretty sure they didn't chalk that record. You see what I'm saying? So it's ways around everything. But at the end of the day, one of the things I started with when we started talking about this is The Dream was one of the first ones to do it. The Dream that made more off Baby. The motherfuckers is going to make their whole career. And he felt that the number was reasonable. For him to sell. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's business. Especially, and then dig this too. A lot of these artists, now Wayne is a gym rat too, but a lot of these artists may not plan on doing music for the next. So you see Rihanna went and did 1 billion other things. Now you can go do that shit. You know that you got music money right here. This is music money. Now let me go do this shit and I'll get back to the music. Or let me tear up some new shit and stack it on top of that motherfucker. Because he don't own this shit. He own backdated shit that I already got paid for. So I got paid again for it. Like, people not paying attention to what's going on.
My whole point, I'm just about ownership, so I just want to make sure they still own it at some point.
It's an expiration date.
Okay, that's all. I didn't read into it. I just saw a tagline, a headline.
I mean, it all depends on the
contract.
Yeah. And that's why I say when I look at these articles and
the devil is in the details,
and they reporting these people's business. One thing y'all gotta realize, they'll say somebody got paid $80 million for something that they actually got $100 million for, because it's undisclosed and they're trying to guess the range, or they're comparing it to other rates.
They were right.
So
like, comparable.
So when they start drawing all this attention to these people's business who clearly didn't disclose their business to them. You have to look for stuff like duration and, you know what I mean, things like that, because it changes the narrative. Now, if they told you that Wayne sold that shit for 2 years, who's complaining? Even 5. But, like, I mean, you really got to think about, like, that's their business. You run your business how you run your business. Guaranteed millions has never been bad for business. Like, I just don't understand. Like,
I get it.
And you a machine, and then if you could sell your artist masters, if that's what happened, he wasn't gonna get them no time soon anyway. I was holding him anyway.
Yeah.
Like, now we gonna make him do more, and I might let him out of this shit sooner than I play it, though.
Right.
You never know. That might work in Drake's favor if that's the play.
Hmm.
But Drake's in a position where no matter what, he's gonna own all his shit very soon. Very soon. He's gonna be able to buy. He's gonna be able to leverage it or buy it straight out.
Hmm. That's the
leverage
goal.
it. When everybody needs to do business with you and all your deals is running out,
That's the goal.
they'll start giving up shit. Shit start coming up that was never the option.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the biggest star in more hits than the Beatles. Like, what do? You gotta play with it. You gotta talk to him nice. Talk to him gorgeous.
Why is the Beatles still a benchmark?
Because of how much they sold.
But it was when they sold it also.
I mean, yeah.
Don't you think?
I think that's part of it,
There's
too.
more people here now.
No, but the twist is, that's part of it. That they sold that much, and it took so long for someone to catch them.
Right.
Even though there's more people in the world and more people listening to popular music.
And they're still selling.
And they still sell.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I just feel like
I mean, shit, YouTube, fucking Bono. I remember watching that Entourage episode where he was performing. It's gotta be a million people out there look like. It's just seas of people. And he goes to kneel with his hands up. And his old ass could barely get down there or get up. And they going crazy. Like, he made $5 million to do that.
Right.
Tonight. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Right.
So it's just, I mean, and that's another thing too. Stop putting caps on these careers. These motherfuckers still got the rest of their life to be icons.
Mm-hmm. Diana Ross.
They can get out there as long as they want.
Mm-hmm. Stevie Wonder.
It's really up to them. Stevie is still doing revolutionary shit.
Stevie was just with a song with Rhapsody, I think. I think it's Stevie.
He played harmonica or somebody joint recently too. Busta joint.
No, Busted. It is Busted. It's
yeah.
Busted. But I feel like Rhapsody might be on that joint.
It probably is.
I think Rhapsody on that joint. But I'm like, Stevie? Like, wait, what? He killing it. So that's what made me think about that.
So I just thought it would be dope to have him play harmonica. I'm like, what niggas is really
Again,
artists. Really
do
artists.
what I want.
No, I mean, but that's
what you
what
want.
Being an artist, a creator, creative, whatever. That's what it's about. Like, you can't drive your art through other people's expectations, or you wouldn't have your unique edge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like the perception of the fact that all he make is turn up music, and like, I don't want to be a caricature of myself,
right?
But I'm really good at that shit.
Right.
But I gotta be careful as to like how that comes across, because I'm not trying to paint myself in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Based on some shit I did. I
think that's what a lot of people don't think about either, though. A lot of people don't think about branding, like, when they're in there, just even every day, but just, they don't think about the branding. They don't think about the actions and how it can reflect on their branding or even future branding, the things that they want to continue to do. I don't think that's a conscious thought.
My brand is intentionally my lifestyle because I can maintain it.
Right.
It makes more sense for me to do it that way. And I am a lifestyle brand. Like, that's how we was pitching it to Puma.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Anybody know anybody at Puma, hit them up, tell them they need me.
They absolutely do.
I ain't gonna say they owe me, but
I mean, they absolutely do, because you've been definitely like rocking it heavy.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just,
why can't I find this song? I'm really trying to see who won this song, and I cannot find it.
I saw an interview recently of somebody saying that they got Stevie to play the harmonica.
I heard the song. I was listening to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, Stevie.
And it's crazy because Stevie got a better turnaround time than some of y'all, man.
Listen.
And how long Steve been doing shit since he was like 8?
Yes. He ain't got more than 60, 70 years in this joint.
He's doing shit forever, yo. Sheesh. But no, I'm gonna give you a couple more seconds.
Yes, there it is. Stevie Wonder featuring Rhapsody, Corday, Chica, and Busta Rhymes. All right, I knew I wasn't tripping.
Yep. Shout out to Corday, young and dope.
Mm-hmm.
He had a joint with. They performed it on awards. It was in front of a lowrider. Who was it? It was him and my man that be singing. And they bodied that shit. It was like some old school shit, and they
killed it. Who be singing? What do he look
What's
like?
What's his name?
Because I'm thinking of a lot of people right now.
Like light brown skin, short. He on everybody's shit.
Light brown skin and short.
K know what I'm talking about too. what's his name, man? He killed a Freddie Gibbs song. Damn.
You're gonna be looking it up.
Look, Corday featuring.
Just Corday collabs. But if my figures.
Let's see who we talking about.
Roddy Ricch.
No.
Anderson .Paak.
Anderson .Paak.
I was okay.
Yo, that joint, Corday showed me something on there. Like
Anderson .Paak,
he can do what he want. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people were saying he was special, but that literally was like an artistic moment, and we gonna watch it as soon as we end the joint.
Right.
But it was like it was
just. I'm eating
just
some of your food.
it was completely dope. Like not like, oh, they killed that or that was popping, that was lit. It was dope.
Right.
And some shit is just dope. You know what I mean? Or ill, fresh. Right. Like the old words. Like you gotta use. You see a new nigga do some
old shit, some fly shit, some
you know what I mean?
Shit,
it gotta be like, no, that wasn't that. That ain't that them new terms.
Yeah, exactly.
That was that.
Young man with old soul.
Yeah, and it's like I'm very impressed with him.
That's what's up.
Very impressed with him. So shout out to him. Shout out to Anderson .Paak. You talking about somebody that done been background for everybody, been all the major circles, been around the world for this music shit when nobody knew his name, and when they started saying his name, he solidified that they gonna keep having to. Like, and I salute him because every time I hear his voice on something, I'm like, this is my guy. Oh, he on everything. You know what I mean? So salute to that. Salute to that. Glad you found that for me. But before we get the fuck out of here.
Let's go. I love your merch though. You definitely the shit, and that's what I'm saying with that branding thing.
I use and put my face on it.
Absolutely.
I love hoodies and t-shirts and shot glasses and
absolutely.
Cognac glasses. And I'm starting to fuck with bandanas ever since the protest. I had wore one down the George Floyd joint.
That makes sense. Because
somebody was actually handing them out. Because them people you protest with that be doing it, they come prepared.
They do.
They bring poster boards for everybody. They had bandanas.
Snacks and shit.
First aid kits for everybody. Goggles and shit. You want some yak?
Goggles? Oh, wow.
You gonna take a shot?
This is official.
Oh, man, we getting busy. Font Productions in the bitch.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We're going to give her a
sponsor on the Scene magazine. Check that out, too. On themagazine.com.
Now, y'all going to have to allow me.
Oh.
I'm trying to lean. No, don't break nothing.
That's before the shot. Shit.
Right.
Assist.
Font almost broke the shit.
But she didn't, because we fucking rebound like that.
Hold up. You got to let me give the toast first. Now. This right here. This shit right here. This is to y'all for making my dreams a reality and helping me keep my motherfucking sanity in 2020 while y'all was trying to maintain yours. Oh. And in the words of my guy Bruno Brown, we alive.
We alive. That's what I said, right? My guy.
So this has been Sippin' with Sammie. I am Sippin' with Sammie. Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't Sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Get your fucking life together. And
you know, this is Sunny Brick in the building. Check me out on thescenemagazine.com. If you haven't heard it enough through this joint, you're going to hear it now. For everything that you need from a positive perspective from education and entertainment on thescenemagazine.com.
Word. Check us out every Thursday, 4 p.m. Wherever you catch your podcast at. We dropping during happy hour. You already know I'm the king of happy hour. And check me out every Friday, man. Flyboy Friday Radio on Glocawear Radio, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every Friday. The best happy hour in the world and the greatest station in the fucking nation.
Okay.
And we out this bitch.
Oh.
Like a newborn.
Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. One named Triz had his handful. To be real or more like dragging the anvil. Always took time to give words and shook hands still. No clue what he walked through before the standstill. No degree, work daily. A man still couldn't understand if you could work, why would a man still? Triz worked for Troy and Troy had all the toys. On the com they said Troy and Tom was diddling boys. exchange emails to get you caught. And how you justify all that shit you bought? And where Triz gon' work with Troy's ass in court? Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles,
Troy
it's complicated.
never had to hustle, but he couldn't fly straight. See, he like the villain in the movie, like staring at the ceiling in the movie. He couldn't get the picture, life changed when the car crash killed his sister. He never told his father how he missed her. Got a plug from his uncle bar mitzvah. First car was a Honda, but he wanted the Fisker. Every day he would order lunch, Triz would deliver. One day he asked Triz, you tired of making tips? You ever had your hands on the brick? He said, I know you need cash, while looking at his kicks. With my plan and 25 to Mars, you be rich.
Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. Some scholars with real dollars and educated. Nice houses with real options, they validated. Some blue collar with few dollars and obligations. No safe net and keep smiles, it's complicated. So the bottom line, Triz could be Troy, and Troy could be Triz. Don't judge motherfuckers, just try to figure out what it is. Be safe, keep your credit straight, and know that God is great. And that's from Sam Malone and Dutchie, Philly.